Hey there, everybody. Nice to see you all. Hope you guys had a good Christmas. Sorry about the delay in getting these videos out. Yeah, it's been insanity here, man. You remember how exciting Christmas was when you were a little kid? Yeah, it's very, very exciting for my two children. But not as exciting for me. It's just a whole lot of work. I was up late like both nights doing all kinds of crazy packing and making cookies and making food and all that stuff. It's pretty exhausting, but they had a blast. And so I'm really glad that they were, we were able to spend some time. We have a little extended family pod that we got to connect with. Grandparents and stuff like that. So it was a really good Christmas. Hope you guys had a good holidays. Yeah, so this is week 4. Thanks, guys, for all your hard work in UClab this month. It's been really fun to work through these tunes. This Let It Snow arrangement has been a lot of fun to play for me. All these kind of like jazz rhythms and jazzy moves. Yeah, just, takes like an old classic and puts a fun spin on it. So why don't we start with... we'll go one rotation. We'll try the intermediate part. And remember, the big important things to remember in the intermediate part, you want to think about those off time changes, right? Being able to go 1 and 2, switch, dot, 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 dot. Just make sure that feels comfortable. My favorite places to start with that are the chords being on and off. So D minor and G7 are the moves that you need to make. But instead of going D minor to G7, you can always go D minor and then take the chord off. That's a great way to practice that feel. Let's see if we can try it a few times. Sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. See how it does. Practicing that switch on the off beat, that up strum, down and then up. You can work that through all the chords. You can go G7, you can go D7, right? Or that's one of my favorites to use because it sounds really great. It's also a lot easier of a move, 3rd fret to 1st fret for the C7, right? So make sure you're warm and you can, do those transitions really well. Those are the big takeaways from that. The hardest one is probably going to be this B flat to the diminished transition, right? Last class, I spent a lot of time talking about that transition. What you really want to pay attention to is commonalities. Whenever I'm thinking about 2 chords, rather than try to visualize the 2 pictures of the chords, like a B flat here, moving to, and then just kind of wiping the Etch a Sketch board clean like this, and then trying to start over from fresh and find this one. What I try to think about is the commonalities, right? For me, in the B flat chord, your pointer finger is already barring on the 1st fret, and that's actually where it needs to be when it moves to a diminished. So I hop my pointer finger up to the top string. That's my first pivot point. And then if you want to, you can make like a D7 shape. This 2-finger D7 that we might be used to playing, 2 0 2 0. It's just in the wrong spot. 1st fret instead of 2nd. And then the ring finger and pinky kind of fill in those open strings. See how my C and A are open there? If I put my ring finger down and then my pinky, then what I'm doing is kind of filling in those gaps, and there's my chord right there. So B flat, and then I hop my pointer finger up, try to make that 2-finger shape, and then add the ring and the pinky. Remember, practice that in isolation and really think transformation, right? If you can't close your eyes through the transition so your hands really learn how to work through those. Let's see if we can try it. Whole notes moving between those 2 chords. B flat to diminished. 1, 2, ready, and we hop up with the pointer finger. Nice. And if you need a little closer view, let's see if I can switch angles here. Ready, and here, 2, ready, B flat. Now watch, that pointer finger comes up first. I make that 2-finger D7 shape and then fill in behind it, right? So if that change is starting to feel really comfortable, then remember, in the tune, what we're doing is changing on that offbeat. So it sounds like this. Now remember, that's going to be a trickier change for sure. But if you work in isolation, then you can really get that muscle memory to start to log in, right? 1, 2, together, B flat. And switch to diminish. B flat and diminished. B flat and then diminished. Last one. B flat and then diminished. And then finish on C. So yeah, isolation. Remember, if you can single out that skill, just focus on it in a really, really like clear way, then you're gonna get to that endpoint a lot sooner. Okay, cool. Let's warm up. Let's see if we can flow through the tune. I'm going to be playing the intermediate part, but feel free if you want to jump in with the advanced version, more of those jazzy chords and different rhythms. So let's give it a try. One from the top. Oh, 1, 2, ready. The weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. B flat. It's my no place. Here we go. The switch. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Verse 2. Here we go. And it doesn't show signs of stopping. And I brought some corn for popping. B flat. Lights are turned way down low with a change. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. B section, here we go. And finally kiss goodnight. How I hate going out in the storm. If you really hold me tight. D7, G7, all the way home, The fire is slowly dying. And my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me, so it's changed. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let's tag it. Here we go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let's try it slow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. One thing I really like to do with that tune, since it's such a short kind of song, is right there, instead of tagging, I'd probably just play to the end, take it from the top, one more run through, and then do some sort of ending, right? With the tag ending, slowing down the measures, whole notes, you kind of get rid of the rhythm. That's a really, really great way to indicate that you're finishing the tune. Cool. Let's try and jump to the advanced part. Remember, if you're just working on the intermediate part, you can play along with us, but I'm going to be kind of introducing those, faster chord movements, and then also a lot of those new kind of chord shapes that might be unfamiliar to you. So let's see if we can try one more time. We'll run A, B, A, and this time I'm going to be doing the advanced. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and the weather outside is frightful, and the fire is so delightful. Here's that big switch. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. A section doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Here we go, B section. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. That was supposed to be D minor. If you really hold me tight, all the way home, the fire is slowly dying. My dear, we're still goodbying. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Tag, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Last time, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. So for the people working on those advanced, the advanced part, that was a little difference to that ending if you want to involve that. So instead of playing C to C7, you can play C to C7. 0, 0, 6, and 7. That transition is a fun one for me, and I really love this chord. This is one of my favorite ways to voice a C7. And remember, that movement there, if you target, I like to target my middle finger to the 7th fret, and then I'll just put my pointer finger above it, a half step below. And then pointer finger goes down to 5, and then pinky goes down to 8. That's a big open F chord that you can finish on. You guys might recognize that from a few months back. Can't remember exactly which tune it was, but if you've got here 0087, transfers nicely into that chord. Let's see if we can try it. Moving whole notes from C to C7 to this F0058. 1, 2, whole notes. Here we go. And then remember, pointer finger to 7th fret, and then pointer finger to 5, pinky 8. Yeah, let's try again. C, here we go. 2, 3, 0, 0, 8, 7, and then we finish here. Yeah, 2 more times, just like that. Here we go. C, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. last time. Here we go. Here's your C, 2, 3, pointer finger, 2, 3, and 0, 0, 5, 8. Yeah. I really love that you know, in the key of F, kind of ending with those big open chords, lots of open strings. It just gives it a nice finish. So we can do that. Remember, if you tag it once, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. If you slow it down, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Big long half notes and whole note to finish on that F, right? And remember, you can kind of use that as a big ending on any songs that you're playing in the key of F. It's kind of a nice way to finish off a tune. Very clear that you're ending, that's for sure. Okay, cool. So the big thing I think in the advanced part is really those faster transitions. You know, moving back and forth to the chords. Even though the chords aren't that challenging, remembering to come back into that rhythm, right? F to C7. C to G7. Remember, they're not necessary, but I really love that 1 to 5 movement. It gives it a nice bounce. You know, it gives it a lot of harmonic interest in that section of the tune. And then, of course, these chords, right? New way to play G, pivot into this, right? Into that, and then here. And then diminished. Remember, lots of whole note exercises moving between those chord shapes I think are really, really vital, because none of these chord shapes are sort of evident or any of the first chords that you learn, right? So remember, this is G is 0, 2, 3, and 5. Now watch, as I move to G7, I really like to think about transition, right? Transformation. See how my pointer finger is on the 2nd fret on the C string? If I hop it up 1 string, and while I'm doing that, I rotate into a 2-finger D7, my pinky is almost over the 3rd fret automatically. Everybody see that? 0, 2, 3, 5. And now watch, I just sort of rotate into this version and then into the G minor. And then up to that chord right there. One thing I like to think about when I'm moving the G minor is if I push that up, that middle finger up, right, and drop it 1 string, that helps me to make that transition. See, my middle finger drops there. That's how I like to think about it, but there's a lot of different ways you can think about it, right? If you know any, you can post in the comments or let me know on Slack what might be a good transition for you. So let's see if we can try whole notes moving from this G, this D7 to G minor to the diminished. 1, 2, ready, and D7, nice, and G minor, and then up here. Yeah, 2 more times, just like that. 2, 3, and G minor. Oh, I'm sorry, 2, ready, start again. 2, 3, and G minor, and to the diminished. 2, and ready. There's your G, D7, and G minor, and then up to diminished. Yeah, 2 more times, just like that. Here we go. G, D7, 2, 3, G minor, and then up. Last time. Here we go. Nice and slow. 1, 2, ready. Think transformation. 2, ready, and switch. 2, ready, and diminished. Just like that. Cool. So remember, the cycle is going to go 2 beats on the first chord, 2 beats on the second chord, and then you're going to be doing that kind of off-tempo change, right? So it sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and off-tempo change. Da, da, da. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and minor, then diminished. 2 more times. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and off-tempo change. Last time. Nicely done. So remember, in the context of the song, you want to think about that being one of the most technically challenging things you can do with your left hand. So again, if you're going to involve vocals, maybe, you know, you want to dial it back a bit, but it is kind of a fun transition as soon as you can get it. As soon as you can get it flowing a little bit. I really like how it sounds moving. The next thing that I wanted to focus on in the advanced section would be that little rhythmic hit right? And that's happening in the third measure of the B section, right? So you go C, and then D minor, da, 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 da. So remember, knowing what it sounds like is the most important thing. So if I was to kind of simplify that as much as I could, I'd probably just clap it or I'd say it, right? Clapping it would sound like this: 2, 3, 4, triplet and ba da da, just like that, right? And if I was to say it, I would like to use the consonants triplet da 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 da, triplet da 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 da. 1, 2, try saying it. And triplet da 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 da, triplet da da. And remember, the triplet, that's the move you're going to do. It's a downstrum with the pointer finger, and then kind of an engaged movement with the thumb. Remember, you don't need to come all the way across the strings. You can just grab at the strings. If you're only hitting the top 2, I'm more about fluidity and movement rather than grabbing a certain number of strings. So I kind of aim for the top, but most importantly, try and engage your fingers. You know, most of the time when we're doing strums, our pointer finger is actually really passive. It just sort of kind of maintains this shape, and there's a little springiness to it, but we don't really engage it. Most of the motion comes from our wrist turning here, and then our elbow sort of pumping the arm like this, right? You get this little bit up and down movement, and then you get a little bit of wrist turn, and you can see my fingers really passive. So most of the time when we're strumming, we're really, really passive with that pointer finger. When I'm asking you to do this triplet, you want to engage the finger. See how I use it to sort of push past the strings? And then push past with the thumb. So that triplet, especially because it's moving quickly, what you want to do is think your fingers get a little bit more engaged, and you only just have this slight motion here and not a lot of wrist turn. Right there. Let's try it a few times. 2, ready, and triplet. 1, 2, and go. Triplet. 2, ready, go. Triplet. 2, ready, and triplet. Really faster. Go. Triplet. Da, da, again. Triplet. Let's see if we can try 2 beats. Ready, triplet, triplet. Go. Triplet, triplet. A little slower. Triplet, triplet. Da, da. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And go. Down, thumb up. 1, and go. Let's try 3 beats. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Triplet, triplet, triplet. Let's try all of them. Triplet, triplet, triplet. And remember, being able to flow through this, it's a lot about repetition, right? You want to think about it less and think more like you're trying to emulate the sound. Cool. So again, you know, involving the left hand is going to make things a lot trickier. So make sure you can feel that rhythm. Make sure you can feel that rhythm, play it without the chords involved before you start adding that left hand. If you try to learn both those skills at once, you're probably not going to get as much clarity. So let's see if we can try it now. D minor and then G7, right? Triplet down, switch. Triplet down, switch. Now, if that's too tricky for you, remember, you can always go the on and off trick, right? You can go chord on to chord off being your second chord instead of switching to a new chord shape. So it sounds like this. Triplet down, off. Triplet down, off, like that. Down, thumb up, down, triplet, da, da. Let's try that with a D7. Right? Those are the 2 versions of D that you use in this B section. Once that's feeling really confident, then you can try adding the second chord being a G7, right? So D minor 7 is actually kind of the more advanced version, but you can take that pinky away, or you can just play a D minor, right? 1, 2, ready, and triplet, D7. Triplet, da, da. And see, my pointer finger kind of acts as that pivot as I'm moving between those 2 chord shapes, right? 2 more times. This is actually how I play a D minor with the bar on the middle finger, but if that doesn't feel comfortable for you yet, you can use these 2 fingers, second and middle and ring finger on the 2nd fret on the G and the C strings, right? 2, ready, and D minor, and then G. G minor, and then G, yeah. So we try our other change, D7 to G7. feel confident with these changes, and then they'll start to become a little bit more fluid. You can bring them into the tune. 2 more times. D7, G7. Last time, D7 and G7, and finish on C. So yeah, that's the tricky part, right? The rest of the tune, or the rest of the B section, is really just a C chord using a rhythm that you're probably familiar with already. So let's see if we can try it nice and slow. B section, right? So C, C, D minor, G7, C, 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 D7, G7, and C. 1, 2, ready. When we finally kiss goodnight. And I'm going to stop singing here. Remember, triple it down, switch, and then C. If you really hold me tight, D7, same thing, right hand, triple it down, and then C. And for extra measure, there's your C7, right? Try one more time. 2, 3, 4. Finally kiss goodnight. How I hate going out in the storm. If you really hold me tight. Here we go. Triple it down, G, and then C, and then C7. Little bonus there, if you guys remember the C7 from the beginning of the class, you can throw that in. Obviously, a lot more challenging, right? Let's see if we can pick the tempo up. Try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. If you really hold me tight. Here we go. Triple it down, obviously, playing at that tempo is going to take some time, some repetition, some familiarity with those chord shapes. But yeah, you work it and you'll get it, right? You work it. Just like anything, you want to try to challenge yourself anytime you're taking on a piece of the new repertoire, but you also need to dial it back for when you're doing your performances and kind of running through the tune and just enjoying playing music, right? You don't want it to all feel like work. So the last thing I wanted to get into today was just a quick little ending to this tune. This is going to be getting more into that solo instrumental style of playing. This is what we cover a lot in the class, the solo class, Wednesdays from 5 to 6. This month we're working on Little Drummer Boy, and it's really just learning how to take the melody and moving it to the ukulele, and then starting to assemble it with rhythm and harmony so that it, we kind of create this illusion that all those things are happening at once on the ukulele. Okay, so first thing we want to do is find these melody notes on the A string. You want to find the 7th fret, and you can see I'm playing it here with my pinky. Then you want to find the 5th fret, and then you want to find the 3rd fret. And the most important thing here, the middle finger or the ring finger playing 5, that's a little bit optional. But what I really like to think about is this melodic line having kind of an apex and then a bottom point, right? Here's its apex at 7, so I want to use my pinky there, highest position, and then my pointer finger here at 3. The most important thing is that you don't kind of do these shifts, right? If I played it like this, then I'm shifting each time to find those frets and then trying to find the fret with my finger. Here, I like to keep the wrist still and then let those fingers find the frets. It's a lot more natural way to play through. And remember, nice diagonal line. Your fingers want to be in a diagonal line to the fret wires. Try not to make them perpendicular, right? Try and make them a little bit of a diagonal. Your reach will be a lot longer. Cool? So let's see if we can play the first note, the second note, and then when we hit the 3rd note, we roll through this chord, right? Really what we're trying to do is find a melodic line almost all over the C chord. And our C chord is kind of here in the open strings, G, C, and E, right? There's our open C chord, and we're just finding these melody notes. So 7, 5, and then we roll to the 3rd fret. Let's try it together. 2, 3, 4, 7, 5, 3, 2. Ready again. 7, 5, 3. 2 more times, just like that. Ready, go. 7, 5, 3. Last time. Ready, and 7, 5, 3. All right, just like before, we're going to find 3 melodic notes. We're going to find them all in the A string again, but now we play 3, 1, and then open A. 3, 1, open. And since my pointer finger is here on 3, I make one shift. I go 3, shift to 1, and then open, just like that, right? So it's 7, 5, and then I roll to 3, and then I play 3, and then I find 1, and now just like before on my third note, I'm gonna roll to it. Everybody see that? So it's 7, 5, roll, 3, 1, roll. Everybody see how I did that? So 3, 1, and I roll to the open A string. Cool, let's try it. 1, 2, go. 7, 5, roll, 3, 1, roll. And now for our last melodic line, we're gonna play open and the third fret on the E string. That's gonna be the first time we go to the E string and off of the A string. And now we're gonna play an F chord to get to the first fret. Those are our melody notes, open, 3, and 1. And when my pointer finger goes to 1, I want to switch to an F chord. And now I'm going to do something called a partial roll. I'm going to take my thumb, start it on the G string. I'm going to roll down through the strings, but instead of going all the way to the A string, I want to use the A string as a break. Everybody see how my right hand, when I roll through that string, it kind of gets stopped right here on the A string, and I don't play it. It highlights this melody note inside of the F chord instead of this note in the F chord, just like that, right? So when I play the last line, it's open A, 3, and then I switch to F, and then stop on the A string, just like that. Open, third fret with my ring finger on the E string, and then first fret inside of an F chord, and I roll through and stop on that A string, right? So you can try it together, just those last 3 notes. 2, go. Bum, bum, bum. 2, again. Bum, third, roll. 2, again. Da, da, bum. So I'm going to play it through just one time so you can kind of hear how it moves. And remember, it's 2 notes by themselves, then you roll through a chord, 2 notes, and you roll through a chord, 2 notes, and then you roll to that E string in the F chord, right? Okay, so it sounds like this. 1, 2, go. Pretty, right? And remember, the melody that we're trying to emulate is the one that we end the song with, right? Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Just like that. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can try the whole thing together a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2, go. 7, 5, 3, 3, 1, open, 3, 1. Let's try that again, a little closer. 2, 3, 7, 5, 3, 3, 1, open, 3, and then I roll to the F note inside of the F chord. One more time, 2, and go. 7, 5, 3, 3, 1, open, 0, 3. And I roll to there. That's a really great way to end the tune, but you can see it's a lot more technically challenging. So make sure if you're going to throw it in, you feel confident, you feel comfortable, but also just work that part independently, right? It's just a fun little lick that you can do as a little outro. And eventually, hopefully you can be able to sing and play while you're doing it as well. So let's try this. Let's try the A section, and then let's try a tag, and then we'll see if we can throw that little thing on the ending there. A section, we're in the third verse, fire is slowly dying. And then maybe we'll do the tune one more time to cap it off today, okay? Let's see if we can do it nice and slow, because remember, if we take it slow now, even when we slow down a little bit during the tag, then we'll have plenty of time to make those transitions. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, F. Fire is slowly dying. You can see I'm doing the intermediate part, right? And my dear, we're still goodbye. Don't want to make it too challenging. Long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let's try tag. Let it snow, slow it down, let it snow. Here we into that E string. Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heart is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let's slow down. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Here we go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. All right. Cool, guys. I'm going to be playing through the advanced version through this one. But remember, jump to the intermediate part. If you ever feel yourself struggling a little bit, you want to kind of try to stay in time and put your focus into getting the singing and playing down, right? All right, let's give it a try from the top. 1, 2. 1, 2, ready. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. B section, when we finally kiss goodnight. Triplet, how I hate going out in the snow. If you really hold me tight. D7, all the way home. Fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbye. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let's slow it down. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Last time. Let it snow, snow, let it snow, let it snow. And let's see if we can finish it. All right, team. Thank you guys so much for joining me this month with UCLab. Thanks for all your hard work. I'm really looking forward to seeing your submissions. Please try and get your final submissions uploaded to SoundSlice before we meet for Uke Social coming up this Wednesday. Remember, 6 to 7:15 p.m. And if anybody else is tuning into this, you can check out more about UCLab at ukuleleinspired.com. Come and learn with us, man. It's a lot of fun. So hopefully we see you soon, and let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Bye-bye.